Good afternoon, this is Minister Paul, and it is 4:12 p.m. in Northern California on October 1st, 2012. I'm going to do a brief part 3 on what I found out about this Halo Counter-Terror Summit right before the election at Paradise Point in San Diego, California. We're going to close out this series. A lot of people ask, why are you so interested in all of this? Well, I'm going to answer that. Number one, I have to ask myself, and I spent a couple hours doing so before releasing part 1 and 2, is not accepting the mark of the beast, but seeing all the signs of it coming and not saying anything about it or warning. Is that a form of accepting the New World Order when you see it right in front of you and don't expose it to others? Are you truly a watcher on the wall according to the Bible of Ezekiel 33? If you see something so clearly right in front of your eyes and it falls in line with what you did for a living and you get all this inside information on it, is your silence acceptance? I'm just asking you that. Are you truly a watcher by accepting this and allowing it to happen without speaking out, which is your right to do? So let me show you how I kind of started this actually about a week ago. And this is how I'm going to close with it. The Halo Corporation made a movie in January last year. It was on the Discovery Channel. A live movie. This is kind of how their claim to fame on going out and rescuing people who were kidnapped. You do some background on the movie they made. That was in January 2011 on the Discovery Channel. They actually used real actors and everything, so they have access to Hollywood actors. Just keep that in mind. And then also keep in mind that this company that seemingly came out of nowhere, I've been in this industry 21 years, on LinkedIn currently says they only have between 11 and 50 employees. And so just keep all that in mind, how they started their business the same year I did. They only have an 11 to 50 employees, can somehow put together this worldwide summit. I want you to look at what this, I've already linked to this summit. This is their website. Now ask yourself, why are they allowed to break? Feel free to check, but I'm going to show you there is no license number on any page. Here's a contact us. It's a phone and an email. I have checked every single page. Here's the director of communications and another number and an email. It doesn't list a license number in regulation with the state of California. And take note that their newsletter is called The Harbinger. I've spent a lot of time on this, and I may take a lot of heat from this, but I won't go silently and just pretend that this isn't happening. So when you look at this website, they link right to the summit right in front of your eyes. Here's the summit. They're going to take over an island. Feel free to, it's called thehalosummit.com. Let's look at who's attendance and ask you, a private security company from 11 to 50 employees were able to pull this together in Hollywood to make movies? Well, General Michael Hayden, retired, will be in attendance. Actually, they've chosen Halloween night. They're calling him the Chief Spook to give a speech. He's from the CIA and the NSA. And you have just take a look at these speakers. The Special Operations Bureau of the Los Angeles Police Department and the Joint Regional Intelligence Center will also be speaking. And then they're bringing in the Secretary of the Interior of Mexico and former Director General Ministry of what? Public Safety. And then you have William Lansdowne, the Chief of Police of San Diego, California. And then let's look at some of their sponsors real quick. And I'm familiar with all of these. FLIR, forward-looking infrared. That means they can see you day or night. That's what FLIR is. You'll see it on a lot of helicopters, you know, chasing people during cop shows and stuff. That stands for forward-looking infrared. This is not private security type stuff. I'm just telling you. Maritime Alliance, Black Hat. And everybody know the difference between a black hat and a white hat? Black hat, in my opinion, refers to malicious hacking of computers. And a white hat is someone that likes to tinker with computers. I know what I'm talking about. So you have Homeland Security over here, and you have this HSFA, which is the Homeland Security Foundation of America. But the one that I want to focus on in closing, the most important, is InfraGard. I've been watching InfraGard. I'm a watcher. Just like I watched the chip maker that makes that chip. I've been watching them since 2000. VeriChip. They used to be called VeriSign. When I started watching them, you know, the goddess just gifted me to be a watcher. I started watching VeriSign in 2000, and me and my friends were working in a state building, and we would communicate back and forth with secure encrypted emails, because we both paid for one of these digital signatures. And if anybody remembers VeriSign, you now know that they turned into VeriChip. And now they make implantable, trackable, GPS, readable, and writable devices. I've been watching them 12 years. I just don't wake up and dream this stuff up. So, but let's talk about InfraGard, because I've been watching InfraGard as someone in the industry for at least 10 years. You know, so InfraGard, what they do is they get a bunch of civilians and they bring the FBI in. Now why InfraGard? Well, Halo Corporation, that's putting on this summit, is a part of InfraGard, and they're also they're based off this. Apparently, it seemingly is. You'll find this actually bizarre, that they're based off this cartoon character where this guy, Savant and Mystic Majestic, take over and rebuild the world, and then they get into mind control and they erase memories, and then Jacob runs into Halo, and they go near bankruptcy, and then read this. He lost his confidence in Jacob and started his own investigation. He found out that Jacob was an extraterrestrial, in other words, a demon or alien. And he decided to use this secret to blackmail Jacob, and then Jacob somehow regained control, and then long story short, this ended in the physical death, but a spiritual ascension. And then they moved. This is in the comic book. They moved from New York to L.A., which is where the actual real Halo Corporation is. Now, as you watch this video, start listening for those types of words and verbiage. Just throwing that out there. So they're related to InfraGard. If you know anything about InfraGard, they're like a snitch company for the FBI. I hate to say it like that. I don't know any better way. You become a member, and you get this card in your wallet, and you go around and you're to snitch on people. They train you, and they want you to watch for suspicious people. Right here, Warner, it says, is a member of the little-known FBI-affiliated group called InfraGard, compromising some 50,000 members across the United States. This is what they do. They keep an eagle eye on U.S. critical infrastructure, power plants, water supply, security, and financial services and the Internet. So in other words, there's 50,000 people out there watching you for free. They're wannabe snitches. That's what I call them. They're wannabe snitches paid for, but they don't receive any money. They do it because they think they're police. They go around, if they're threatened, they pull out these little InfoGuard cards. I know I'll take a lot of heat from this. I don't care. I'm more important to get to the truth. So you find your local chapter, read about InfoGuard and who they are, because they're out there watching you right now. Let's go to my state. Look, they're in San Diego, and then they're in Sacramento and San Francisco. And see, like you have to do a background. This is what InfoGuard is. It's an informational sharing and analysis efforts serving the interest in combining the knowledge base of a wide range of members. At its most basic level, InfoGuard is a cooperative undertaking between the U.S. government, led by the FBI, and an association of businessmen, academic schools, basically state and local law enforcement agencies, blah, blah, blah. Basically what they do, and they just finished having their 8th annual security synopsis at Cal-EMA in Mather, California. That used to be an Air Force base. Basically what they do is they take a bunch of civilians, because you know why I know this? They offered me a position. I said no. When I found out that, because they train you, the FBI comes out and trains you, and you get a level of clearance. It's really kind of classified. It's like Freemasonry. You'll never know truly what they do, but they do have some type of power, and they do carry cards in their wallet that identifies them as members of InfoGuard, and they are given I know members of them, and they do have. Matter of fact, I know the Knowles, and I'm just going to leave it at that. This is what's happening down in San Diego right before the. Look, they're actually counting it down. They're counting down the time till it begins, and then you know it begins after that when they have all these. Go watch the video on part 1 and part 2. Here's where they're having it on this island. They're calling it Halo Island. If you didn't know that. Right after this, we'll have the election, and they'll all be in place there. The CIA will be represented, NSA, the military, San Diego and LA County law enforcement, Mexico. It'll all be ready in place there. If with all of these other sponsors, and this, I'm surprised that this isn't getting more coverage. That they're doing all this to train on detention. Detaining United States citizens, calling them zombies, etc. Where's the media coverage on this? Well, I'm putting the word out or not. It may make me unpopular, but I just feel led to do so. Speakers, courses. Let's look at courses. And why aren't they held accountable for not having a license? Well, I did some research on that too. See, every page is supposed to list your license number. I've shown that in another part. Close quarters combat, cartel threats to the USA. Some people will see this as a good thing and disagree with me. You got to understand, look, I used to be in the business. You have to separate the private industry. There's their schedule, as a matter of fact. You have to separate the private industry from law enforcement. That's how it always was in the 21 years I was in there. I just don't see how this is a good thing for civilians. Let's check the schedule here. This is Halloween night. I would just say to keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and realize, patron saints of the underworld. See, God will always show me something. You may not agree. Patron saints of the underworld. Home invasion, kidnapping enforcement. You know. Yeah, what did I tell you? Mobile hacking, that's just confirmation. Mobile hacking, they're going to train people on mobile hacking. I want no part of it. I don't need I'd rather protect myself and put the money I save in the tax dollars in my own pocket. But here's the venue. Take a look around and ask yourself what it's all about. Ask questions. Not against the law to do so. There's people out there spying on you right now. I want to take you into custody because you refuse to be a part of the system. Well, I refuse to be a part of the system.